Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And today I want to talk about um the CM Punk Roman Reigns feud um that we got at WrestleMania. Um 5-star match, by the way, officially, even though I still don't know why people take Dave Meltzer's word for it as the number one judicator at this point for what a 5-star match is and what isn't a 5-star match, because y'all know he's a con man. Like, he lies about all his fucking articles. It's been proven. I proved it a long time ago, and multiple other people have proven it, but you still fucking eat his words still to this day. Um, but it was a 5-star match, and I said it before, con man Meltzer. But I want to talk about this because article had come up, um, and there was supposedly discussions about CM Punk retaining the title, like he fucking should have, by the way. Um, Against Roman Reigns, and by retaining, they were going to then face off again at Backlash in a rematch for the title where Roman would have won. I actually think that would have been a better idea. I think Punk should have gotten the moment, and then Roman could get his win at Backlash, which I actually like the idea better, just because it kind of would have gotten rid of this whole thing that the world titles have to change hands at WrestleMania or SummerSlam now. Lately, ever since Roman's long title run and freaking TKO or Endeavor taking over, there's been this idea where the world titles and the WWE titles gotta be, or the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. The title changes have to mostly happen at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Obviously, there's been a couple breaks here and there, where they did do some changes, title changes outside of that, but a lot of that was due to vacating the title, changing courses for a potential retirement match, or original creative decided that he was going to win the title back against Drew at WrestleMania, which that was scrapped, which is why he won it on a random SmackDown. Um, but typically, they seem to be hell bent on doing the big matches, the big title changes, primarily on SummerSlam and WrestleMania. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But I just, I'm not a fan of it being where it always has to end at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Where Reign has to end there. Like, during the pay-per-view era, we see the unpredictability of it all the time on B-rated pay-per-views compared to the A-list pay-per-views. So I actually would have thought that would have been a better outcome, and it would have kept the feud going too, for the time being. So yeah, I would have liked them to have done that, because it would have continued the feud. Um, right now, what we're looking at is, now we're looking at a Roman Reigns world title reign, with Jacob Fatu, which we know Roman's going to retain, but I'm not really that interested in it. Um, Not that all interested in Jacob Fatu as a world championship contender. I don't really see him as a world champion. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. Um, I just don't get it. I know he's got an intense style, but I don't see it, man. Don't see it. But they got a lot of wrestlers though. Like I mean, they got a lot of wrestlers on the roster, that are gunning for the title, and it's like there are a lot of guys on this roster not going to be world champion. Like I mean, we're already seeing it with a bunch of these guys now, and see a guy like LA Knight who should be world champion right now, and you know everybody's being held back at this point. Um, but getting to this whole thing with CM Punk, where does this go here? Because right now, we don't really know the direction of where CM Punk's going. Um, now, on Raw, they teased the thing with Cody for a future match for the WWE Championship. And that is the direction for the long-term plan. But right now in the short term, what are they doing with him? What are they doing for him at Backlash? Obviously he's probably not facing Cody at Backlash. We don't even know what Cody's doing right now because he hasn't been medically cleared yet. So they can't even really do anything yet with him other than cutting promos. But I know Cody and Punk is the long-term plan. It's always been the long-term plan since Punk came back to the WWE. I mean, they've teased it for a long time now. We thought we were going to get it at 41. That didn't happen. There's been a lot of teases going on for the years and stuff like that. But it got me thinking now, after the aftermath of the CM Punk Roman Reigns match. And since Punk didn't unfortunately retain, and they've moved on with Roman going after wrestling someone else for the time being, it leaves me wonder, this feud really shouldn't be over. Like, there's more to this, okay? Especially after they just had a 5-star match, okay? Might I add, this is Roman Reigns' first ever 5-star match, okay, in his entire career. He's never had a 5-star match, okay? Just like John Cena never had one until he fought Punk, okay? Now, granted, again, this is why I don't like Dave Meltzer, because Shawn Michaels versus John Cena should have been a 5-star match. But, that's nor here nor there. We all know Dave Meltzer's a con artist. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's biased towards the Tokyo Dome matches and whatnot. So, but nonetheless, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns was probably one of, if not the best main event WrestleMania match in history. Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker was probably the greatest WrestleMania match in history, though I would say Macho Man Steamboat is a little better in my opinion. And to all the people that don't think that, please go watch it because you probably haven't watched the match. Okay, Steamboat versus Savage was better than Michaels Taker. I hate to break it to you guys, it was. You got to go watch. And that was even before I was alive. That match happened before I was alive. So, thanks a lot. You got to go watch that match. Okay. But in terms of the final match, like the closing of the show WrestleMania match, this to me probably is one of the best, if not the best. You got Michaels Brett Iron Man match. I mean, you got Michaels Brett Iron Man match. Obviously, Austin Rock WrestleMania 17, even though the ending was whack. But it's very hard to put a staple point on that many other matches that can compete with this main event WrestleMania match from all the previous WrestleManias, main events. Okay? So, that being said, that's all we're going to do. This is the only time we're going to do this. We're not going to do another main event match between these two. You know what I'm saying? Look, I know Cody Punk is a long-term plan and definitely should happen. But I think it would be crazy for WWE to not revisit this and not do another match between these two in a future main event, whether it be SummerSlam or another WrestleMania or something like that. Like, I think it would be crazy to not do another one of these. Okay? You already had a 5-star match. You don't think they can't put out another one? I mean, obviously Michaels Taker 26 wasn't as good as 25, but, you know, it was still a banger for what it was. Okay? And that was a closing the show match, too, by the way. That one was. The second one was. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I know we thinking, and let's be honest, too. Let's be fucking honest right now with ourselves. Okay? If they do Cody versus Punk, okay? They do Cody versus Punk. Cody has to turn heel. He has to fucking turn heel. Period. End of story. I'm sorry, Cody. If you're watching this, you have to turn heel if you face Punk. All right? You do. All right? They tried this shit with John Cena. Didn't work. Okay? You know, people wanted to cheer for Cena. Okay? They tried this with Randy Orton. Didn't work. Okay? And the results were horrible. You're not going to get people to boo CM Punk. Dude, CM Punk literally freaking went on the mic and literally said he was going to bury Roman next to his father who passed away. Okay, tragically, passed away a few years ago. Okay? And fucking Punk still got cheered. Okay? You are not getting Punk. Punk is not getting booed. Okay? Okay, so if they do Punk versus Cody, Cody has to turn heel. There is nothing Cody can do. To get CM Punk to get booed. Punk can fucking do some of the worst deranged shit ever, and he will not get booed. You gonna put him with a damn celebrity? That ain't gonna work. We tried that already. Okay? The only way Cody versus Punk works is if Cody turns heel. People are not booing Punk. Okay? If you can't get Randy Orton, okay, just think of it this way. If you can't get Randy Orton to get booed, okay, even with Pat McAfee, okay, how are you going to get Punk booed? I mean, this isn't a situation where, when he became world champion, people all of a sudden wanted to now boo him because, of whatever. No. They do that for Cody from time to time when he's champion. They never did that for Punk when he was world champion. Okay? Nobody was booing Punk when he was world champion. Okay? Or turn on him briefly or whatever. No one does that. CM Punk, if he faces Cody, it's gotta be either a babyface program like they did with Roman, it was more of a tweener program, really. But it has to be that way. A babyface program versus a babyface, or it has to be Punk as a babyface and Cody as a heel. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay? There's just nothing they can do that can justify it other than that. But that's why I really think Punk versus Roman is the better match. We've already seen the match. It makes you want to see more because Punk really should have won this match because of a couple of reasons. One, Roman got himself disqualified despite the fact that the referee didn't call for the bell. I don't give a fuck what anyone says in the comment section. He got himself disqualified. All right, there is no discretion and all that bullshit they're trying to make up now. That's not the rules. Okay, rules are rules. Let's go to the official wrestling rule book and tell me where it says that, oh, well, the main event of WrestleMania, that's the exception of it. No, it doesn't fucking say that. Never fucking says that on there. All right, that's some bullshit that they just made up on the fly. Okay? That's not how this shit works. Okay? And yes, I know wrestling is predetermined, but they wrote rules in this thing that we watch, and the rules should be respected. Otherwise, what are we looking forward to? If the rules aren't actually being respected and actually treated accurately, you wouldn't. I mean, let's think about it this way. Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl, they're down on the 20-yard line, or they're on like the 40-yard line or whatever, and then they freaking get a holding penalty or a face mask penalty, and they're forced to get 15 extra yards, which guarantees them a field goal or whatever to win the game. And so they do it. And that, they lose the game for that. Well, how about we say, well, because it's inside of 2 minutes, we're not going to call the penalty. We're not going to call a blatant holding penalty because we don't want to change the outcome of the game. It's the same thing for real sports. Okay? You would never do that. Rules are rules. Okay? It doesn't matter that it's the main event of WrestleMania. But another thing that I can bring up is that CM Punk had Roman beat. He had him beat. He had the GTS banged to the ropes and was about to put him in another GTS, and he ran out of gas. He couldn't throw him down on the knee one more time because he ran out of energy. Okay. And they can use that for when they revisit the storyline. Which is what I think they'll eventually do. Because, to me, there's more in this that they can do in the future. Now, that, of course, does go onto the fact of whether or not they decide to have Obafemi win the world title. Because it seems like they're planning on Oba winning the world title at SummerSlam. I don't agree with this because I think this should be LA Knight's spot. LA Knight's waited 4 fucking years to be in the main event, and he gets the same pop as Obafemi, and he's had it for over 4 years now. Okay, so, but I think that's where they're going, is that they're going to have him beat Roman against Obafemi. They don't, I'd be kind of surprised, but we'll see what happens there. But if they don't do Roman and Oba, I think you got to go back to Punk and Roman, because there's just so much. There's so much more to this storyline, now, where Punk has to chase Roman again, because Roman basically said that Punk, you'll go back down, and we're going to force you to do this and that now that you're not champion. Punk's not going to fucking let that shit happen. Fuck that shit. Punk's going to be like, no, I'm coming back for you, dude. And I'm going to beat your ass. So that's kind of where this is. I think there's more meat in the bones with Punk and Roman than there is with Cody and Punk, because Cody and Punk, even though we've been waiting for this for a while, it will only work if it will only work if Cody Rhodes turns heel. It will not work. It will not work the way you want it to work. And even in a babyface program, it might not exactly work, because Punk, has praised Cody. Like, Punk views him as a friend, right, on TV. You know, like, that to me is probably not going to sell. Okay. Now, if they were both baby faces that were one-upping each other and stuff like that, like Undertaker and Batista did, then it might work. But because they've established like a friendship, and Punk's even said that he's not going to double cross him, he's gonna be frontward with him. There's just no way you could have Punk be a heel, especially with the fans just will not accept him as a heel, just like they won't accept Randy as a heel. Excuse me. The only way that works is if Cody. I think the only way you can sell a proper story between Cody and Punk is that Cody has to turn heel. But with Roman and Punk, there's a story. There's a genuine hatred there for both of them. Okay, right? There's a hatred there for them. Even though the way they portrayed the Punk and Roman storyline was that they were both baby faces with heelish tendencies against one another because of their hatred for each other, mentioning stuff outside of the ring and stuff like that that happened between the two of them. Okay, so that's why I say it was more of a tweener feud, because it worked. It naturally worked, and it will work again if they revisit it and do it again. But with Cody, they're going to need more work because it's the opposite. Cody actually has a friendship with Punk in and out of TV. So you're going to have one of them really turn heel for it to work, and you can't do it with Punk. Cody would have to be the one that turns heel. And I don't think Cody wants to do that. So I don't know if this will work. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you guys would like to see? Would you like to see Roman and Punk again? Punk getting his win back against Roman? Or would you like to see the Cody match? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Comment, rate, if you like to video my videos, please subscribe, hit the notification bell for the latest content. Thank you. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure to, besides my YouTube channel, to follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. Now I'm out. Peace.